Hello kids, how are you? How are you doing? How are your families? I hope everyone in your family is doing okay. And I hope you're staying home and safe as well as doing your homework and revising your lessons. So today's lesson will be about adverbs of frequency, but before we do that, we're going to revise simple present. So what I want you to do is take a paper and a pen and pause the video, conjugate verb to eat in simple present in all three forms, okay? Affirmative form, negative form, and then the question form. I want you to remember all the rules that I've taught you before. And then we're going to go through them together. So let's get started here. There we go. Simple present. So the auxiliary that we're going to be using is do here, and then we're going to conjugate verb to eat. And as you know, we're using the auxiliary only in the negative form and the question form. So let's get started. Affirmative form, negative form, and question form, they'll be going all together. So we'll be going to start with the first personal pronoun, which is I. Okay, I eat, I don't eat, do I eat? So here we used the auxiliary do, and here we used do in the negative form, of course, and here we used auxiliary do in the question form, and it becomes auxiliary plus subject plus verb. I hope you remember the rule. Let's okay, keep going. You eat, you don't eat, do you eat? It's just as simple as that. Okay. He eats, he doesn't eat, does he eat? So you see here the auxiliary do is conjugated in the third singular person, he, as well as in here in the negative form, of course. And here we added an S, as I told you before. Let's keep going. She eats, she doesn't eat, does she eat? So here again, same case as he, same case, we added an S. Here we conjugated the auxiliary do in the negative form and also in the third singular, in the third person singular, as well as here. It eats, it doesn't eat, does it eat? There we go. So you see here, and then we're going back to normal. You see, we eat, no S. We don't eat, no S. Do we eat? No S as well. So here, let's go to the other one. You eat, you don't eat, do you eat? They eat, they don't eat, do they eat? So what do you notice here is that we add an S in the third singular person, in the third person singular, he, she, and it. We add an S. And when it comes to the auxiliary, we also add an S, but it has to be in the negative form here. So we added the word not. It became an apostrophe T as a short form. And here, does he eat? Always auxiliary, subject, and then verb, and then question mark. So let's go. If you want to, I hope you got it right. If you want to write this down in your copybook, it's okay. If you don't want to, it's already in your copybook. Okay. There we go. The verbs in the third person singular, he, she, and it, always take an S. For example, he watches, and I already taught you about these rules here, just like the plural rules, you know. He watches, she cries, it runs, she eats, he plays, he sings, etc., etc., etc. So basically, you want to conjugate any verb in simple present, you just add an S, or for example here, if it ends with Y, you remove the Y and you add an IES. The final result has to be an S at the end. Let's go and see some examples. Example number 1. I wake up early every day. So these examples are for you to come up with with the when do we use simple present, you know. I wake up early every day. So every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I wake up early. That means every day. My sister watches TV on Sundays. So my sister always watches TV on Sundays. Whenever you come home on Sundays, you find my sister watching TV. Number 3, the doctor helps sick animals. Number 4, he buys bread from the bakers, and you know what bakers is. The doctor helps sick animals. So you see here, SSS, as long as we're conjugating the verb in the third person singular. Other than that, you just keep the verb as it is. And let's see here. So we use simple present to talk about facts. For example, here the doctor helps sick animals. Of course, he does help sick animals. And here, for example, you buy bread from the bakers. Of course, you buy bread from the bakers, so that's a fact. And routines, for example, here my sister watches TV on Sundays. I wake up early every day, and also habits. Let's go here and get started with adverbs of frequency. So, adverbs of frequency answer the question how often. They tell us how often somebody does something. What does how often mean? When I say how often, it means, for example, how often do you watch TV? It means like, do you watch TV every day, for example, or do you watch TV only Monday and Wednesday, or do you watch TV Monday and Wednesday and in the weekend? Do you see how many times, for example, do you watch TV? That's what adverbs of frequency for, and now we're going to see them. So we have the first one, always. For example, if you watch TV like always, every day, you say, I always watch TV. It's like 100% of the time. And then the next one, usually it's 80% of the time. For example, you watch TV only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then you don't watch TV on Friday and in the weekend. So that's what usually means. And it's pronounced usually, even if it's written like this. Sometimes, like 50% of the time. For example, you only watch TV 3 days a week. For example, you only like go to the gym sometimes, like 2 weeks a month, for example. So that's sometimes 50% of the time. And then we have the adverb never, which is 0% of the time. For example, I ask you a question: do you how often, for example, do you eat apples? And you say, I never eat apples. Like, I don't eat apples, I don't like apples, like they're never in my mouth. You see, so those are adverbs of frequency. Of course, we're going to go through them in details, but here we go. Okay, we have 4. We're going to go through these 4 here. All right. Another rule, they go before. So an adverb of frequency goes before the main verb. You have, normally in a sentence, we have subject plus verb plus object, right? So here we're going to separate the subject and the verb and put the adverb of frequency right in between them. They go before the main verb, which means between the subject and the verb. And this rule doesn't really apply for verb to be, so we're not going to see here verb to be, okay? Example number 1. I is the subject. Go shopping on Sunday. Go is the verb. So what we do here is we put the adverb of frequency always between the subject and the verb, you see? And it becomes, I always go shopping on Sunday. 100% of the time I go shopping on Sunday. Number 2, we is the subject, play is the verb, football. So we play football is a normal sentence, but I want to tell you how often I play football. So I say, we sometimes play football. You see? And we put the adverb of frequency here in between the subject and the verb. 3, my parents wake up late. That is the normal sentence, but we're going to put here the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb. My parents never wake up late. These are examples. And here verb to be, we say this rule doesn't really apply for verb to be. So verb to be, you have to do like the subject, verb, and then adverb of frequency. So she is always angry. You cannot say she always is angry, or they never are happy. No, always adverb of frequency has to be always after the verb, just here in verb to be. So example number 2, they are never happy. You see here? Please pause the video and take notes. Write these examples down because I will be explaining even more next time. Let's go through them one by one. Okay, so here, always, 100% of the time, always, every day. I always do something on a specific day. So here I'm going to ask you a question and you give me an answer. How often do you brush your teeth? How often do you brush your teeth? So using this adverb of frequency here, give me the answer. And I want you to give me a subject, adverb of frequency, verb, okay? So what is the subject here in your question? How often do you brush your teeth? So we're talking about you, we're talking about I, for example. You are asking me this question, so I have to say I. Where is the verb? Brush. Very good. So here we're going to put the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb. So I say I always brush my teeth. And there we go. You see? Subject is I, brush is the verb, and I say always. I always brush my teeth. Let's go to the second question. How often do you go to school? How often do you go to school? So here we're going also to use adverb of frequency, always. And I want you to tell me the subject here and tell me the verb. And then we're going to put the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb. So what is it? Yes, exactly. The subject is they. The verb is go. So here we're going to take always and put it between they and go, and it becomes they always go to school. Very good. Very nice. Well done. Now we're going to the second adverb of frequency. There we go. Usually 80% of the time. Same thing, here we go. I'm going to ask you a question. How often does your mom go shopping? You know, going shopping here, look at the picture if you don't understand the sentence. Okay, here. So here we're talking about my mom, okay? So my mom is going to be the subject, and of course the verb is go. Shopping. So here we're going to put this adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb, all right? And then we're going to conjugate the verb in simple present, of course, following the rule. So what do we say? Please think about it, and then I'm going to say the answer. Exactly. My mom usually goes. You see here? We conjugated this verb in the third person singular, my mom. If we want to replace my mom with a personal pronoun, we replace it with she, so it becomes she usually goes shopping. Very good. Now let's go to the other question. Sometimes, 50% of the time. Okay, the question is, how often do you ride your bike? And that is riding your bike. Okay, so what is the subject here? Always we're talking about you, so we're going to use the personal pronoun I in your answer. So I is the subject, very good, and ride here is the verb, very nice, well done. And then we're going to put the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb. Let's see. It becomes I sometimes ride my bike. Very, very, very good. You see here, there is the subject and there is the verb, and the adverb of frequency is between the subject and the verb. Same thing goes here, same thing goes with every adverb of frequency. Now we're going to see the last one. Never, 0% of the time. I wonder what the question is. Okay. How often does he play tennis? You see, that's your picture here. So what is the subject? What is the verb? Very good. So the subject here is he, the verb is play, and the answer is he never plays. Or don't forget to conjugate the verb. Plays tennis. Very, very, very good. Well done. Let's go to the other question. How often does she drink milk? How often does she drink milk? She is the subject, drink is the verb, and we put the adverb of frequency between the subject and the verb, and then it becomes, can you guess? Exactly, she never drinks milk. She never drinks milk. You see here? So these are pretty much it, you know. I want you to take notes, and I want you to watch the video again and again and again. If you don't understand, you will understand eventually. So please take your time, rewatch the video as many times as you want until you understand. Take notes, because I will be giving you exercises, and I will be making another video explaining some exercises even more. And well, I hope you understood something, and I hope you got it, and I hope that you're doing fine. And we're done for today. Stay home and stay safe, kids. I love you so much. Bye bye.